Gen Alpha is transforming finance in Asia Pacific. 49% already invest and 47% influence how their parents pay. Ben Jolby from Mastercard and Ashutosh Awasthi from Cadence are here to discuss this youth-driven shift. So, what's driving Gen Alpha's early adoption of investment and finance tools? Ben, would you like to answer first?
What's driving their adoption is really they're looking at what their parents are doing. They're copying and mimicking what their parents are doing. They watch their parents pay with phones, pay with QR codes. So they're picking up these digital habits pretty much from day one. Um, and they see money, therefore, not through a piggy bank or through notes, but they see it through a screen. So they're learning by doing. Just an example, I take my kids shopping and they now use my Apple Pay to pay, which is both great and also scary. Um, but kids in Singapore, for example, have access to things like the Smart Buddy watch and card, so that they can do contactless payments while their parents can still retain control of their finances and track their savings. And of course, kids are also watching social media. So they're picking up from social media financial knowledge in 10, 20, 30-second bite-sized chunks. Um, and so this kind of early exposure means that they're getting this very interactive relationship. They're actively involved, everything from saving to payments to investing.
The biggest driver of early adoption of investment and financial tools for Gen Alpha is the blurring of the line between virtual reality and the real world. And gaming technology has a significant role in this. To explain you further, think about all the things kids do while they're playing games, like swapping game skins or earning coins to unlock new features. All these are basic lessons in saving, spending, and budgeting, but they're happening in a way that feels natural. So with this exposure Gen Alpha is having, they're already learning about money even before they get introduced to traditional banking or investing. Whether it's like trading items, bartering for upgrades, or managing virtual currencies, they are getting a hands-on lesson in how value exchange works, often without even realizing it. When a Gen Alpha comes across real financial tools, it doesn't feel scary or confusing to them. It feels like just another next level of game they're already been playing as such.
But we can see that parents are still debating whether or not this is too early for their children. With that, what risks or challenges come with Gen Alpha's early access to finance?
We need to be teaching kids how to protect themselves with age appropriate tools and the kind of conversations that we need to have with them as well. We need to set limits, explain what is volatility and how to manage their risk profile, and so that they're planning in advance. But as well as guardians and parents, we need to be setting the guardrails. So set limits on different asset types, spending thresholds, make sure that they're using age appropriate platforms. So when I was talking about social media, obviously we need to monitor their usage, make sure that the content they're consuming is appropriate to their age group. And then, of course, we're seeing more and more usage of AI to explain risk, flag unusual patterns in expenditure, or even behavior on social sites.
First one is the short attention span, shaped across non-stop digital stimulation. And the second one is constant need for instant gratification, which is driven by the world where everything is on demand. While these characteristics are natural for kids in the digital age, but they create a perfect storm when it comes to financial frauds and risks. Because their attention span is constantly pulled in million directions, Gen Alpha often glosses over a lot of security details and may ignore them, which makes them vulnerable to financial risks and scams. Add to that, the urge of immediate rewards, which is instant gratification, and you get a perfect recipe for impulsive decision making, which can lead to, some really grave mistakes. The temptation, of quick wins and flashy offers, sometimes may move them to ignore certain security steps and fall for some manipulative scams as such. This impulsivity puts both their money and their trust in serious jeopardy.
Now let's talk about super apps, which also play a part in this. How should traditional banks respond to the dominance of such apps?
as payment tools, we really have to meet consumers where they are and where they're interacting today, and not the other way around. We also see the rise of social shopping. So 40% of consumers in Asia Pacific have purchased through chat or through a social app. So again, we need to be there. Payments need to be embedded within those experiences rather than trying to bring the consumers somewhere else. And so this integration of payments into social apps is enabling the shift from browsing to buying. However, trust and security are still very much top of mind. And this is where the traditional banks can continue to play their pivotal role in the ecosystem. They want strong support at home. They want access to secure platforms. They want to be protected through innovations like tokenization, biometric payments, passkeys. And all of this is giving Generation Alpha a critical advantage actually over previous generations who perhaps did not have both this knowledge, but also the access to the tools, the payment tools, the transaction tools, the safety and security that previous generations did not have, meaning that this could become the most financially capable and literate generation yet. So this isn't just a job for banks or super apps, it's the whole ecosystem play where kids can be raised as financially confident children.
Well, honestly, the smartest move is collaboration over competition. So bank needs to stop viewing super apps as threats and start seeing them as partners. It's simple, the super apps bring the community and the banks would bring the credibility. So banks handle the secure, regulated stuff and like payments and lending, while super apps deliver speed and innovation. So super apps already have massive user bases and high engagement. Instead of reinventing the wheel, banks can plug in these ecosystems, offering secure financial services where users already are. And let's not forget, banks still have upper hand in terms of trust and security. So it's really about just co-creating value, I would say.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights, Ben and Ash. Looking forward to having you both back on the program.
You are more than welcome.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me here.
Once again, those were Ben Gilby, Asia Pacific Senior Vice President for Digital Consumer Solutions at Mastercard, and Ashutosh Awasthi, Director at Cadence International, Singapore. For more news, visit asianbankingandfinance.net.